Hi everyone and welcome to Homerino Collectibles for another Transformers review. This time I'm going to be taking a look at one of the highly anticipated sets of this year. It's the Transformers Platinum Edition, my very first Platinum Edition I must say. Grimlock vs Bruticus Twin Pack. Now this is awesome. This is the Fall of Cybertron Grimlock and Bruticus with a little twist. So as you can see, the box, normal Platinum Edition box, very nice, looks very exclusive and limited edition. So if I just open up the front, which is a flap, you can see inside, and they would be displayed there if I hadn't taken them out. Nice artwork there, and if I bring you up, you can see the bio. So if I strain it out a little bit and focus in, you can go ahead and pause that if you want to read it. It's a pretty good bio. So onto the side of the box. This side you see Grimlock and 4 of 30. Onto the back of the box now. Here are the Combaticons. They are the SDCC colours, and over here we have the normal Fall of Cybertron Grimlock colour, which is a bit of a shame because on the front of the packaging it shows the accurate colours for this set, whereas on here they've just chose the normal one, but never mind. You have the technical data for both Grimlock and Bruticus. And yeah, let's open this thing up and get a closer look. So here is Grimlock along with the rest of the Combaticons. Now, the way this is going to work, I'm going to go through the Combaticons in both vehicle and robot mode, showing the differences because I don't have this in any other version. This is my first version of Fall of Cybertron Bruticus. So, just to show you a quick overview of them all individually, as I haven't done yet on my channel. Then we're going to go ahead and take a look at the comparisons with the Grimlock figure, because I do actually have the original Grimlock. So first of all, let's take a look at the Combaticons. So first off, here we have Brawl. Very nice green, silver, purple and black. He's my favourite one of the Combaticons from this set in vehicle mode. He looks very menacing, nice purple detail on the back there. And what I also like to show is, some people say that you can't get a mode that resembles the artillery cannon sort of mode that uses in the game to assist Vortex when they're attacking the bridge. Well, I don't know about you, but that looks pretty much exactly the same, except you just don't get that one single leg out the back. So yeah, and if you want it the other way around, you can make it look a little bit nicer if you want to. If you get him sort of in his leg mode configuration by clipping this over the back here, you can have it firing that way. So I think that's pretty damn nice integration of the artillery mode, but nonetheless, there you go. Let's get him into his robot mode. And here's Brawl in his robot mode. A lot of people don't like this. They think that the backpack is far too big and he's a bit weedy and so on. I think that's true. I think that Brawl, and to be honest all the Combaticons, should be Voyagers, and then Onslaught even bigger, but obviously that wouldn't work too well if you were going to have them all individually on their own next to the other Fall of Cybertron guys. So they have to work with what they can, so they have to be deluxe figures, and personally I think that this guy is one of the best of the bunch. Let's move on to Swindle. So Swindle in his vehicle mode then, looking very clean and sharp here. Nice silver and purple detailing. Very nice, rolls well. Not much to say. This is only a quick overview, remember, so let's get him into his robot mode. And here he is in his robot mode. Now Swindle is the biggest of the Combaticons out of this set, and obviously he shouldn't be, but it doesn't matter too much. They went for the Bruticus mode and less on the individual modes, obviously, but I do really like every single one of these guys. I don't really have many bad points to say about any of them. They're criticised a lot, but I think that what they did with what they could, and to get it at that price point, I think it works fine. So let's move on to Vortex. So Vortex in his helicopter mode, rotor spin's pretty good. Obviously you got this connector point out here just hanging out. This is very small. You got this bit sticking out here which isn't flush and ugly, that's a bit unflush and ugly, that's a bit unflush and ugly, but apart from that I do quite like it. It is my least favourite of the bunch, but I do still like it for what it is. Obviously weapons can attach to the side here, but let's get this guy into his robot mode and check him out. So Vortex in robot mode is pretty nice. The blades on his arms are weapons. He can hold his weapon in his hand as a sword or a gun. Design really reminds me of some kind of insect-like thing, and obviously he's not meant to look like an Insecticon, but yeah, that's one other reason why I don't like this guy as much, but that's design. That's not actually anything bad with the figure itself. Articulation on all these guys are pretty good considering they're combiners, and they can all be bought separately, and if you did want any individual one, I think they work well as individual figures. So yeah, without further ado, let's move on to Blastoff. So Blastoff here then is very vibrant with the silver and the purple detailing on here. He's got gunmetal. This is one part that everyone has pointed out as being extra. The San Diego Comic-Con colours, which are these colours, the accurate colours, did not actually have this bit painted silver on the end here, whereas this does. So you're getting a tiny little bit more painted detail. There obviously are slight variations in the actual base colour of everyone here, being a tiny little bit more accurate. But on the whole, it's pretty much exactly the same as the San Diego Comic-Con colours. So nice vehicle mode here, nice jet. A lot of people put these on the wrong way around. They put them in with this peg facing up like they are when he holds them in robot mode as blasters, but then they actually stick up against this peg right here. If you put them in this way, as you can see, they don't touch this peg, and this forms as like an extra wing here going out to the side instead of being a fin that goes up, but that is the correct way to do it. So let's have a look at his robot mode. So here then is Blastoff in robot mode, and he looks pretty menacing. He has a very strong robot mode in comparison to the other guys. I think that him and Swindle probably have two of the best robot modes personally. A lot of people say Vortex, but as I mentioned before, the design doesn't strike me as well as the others do. So yeah, nice dual wielding weapons, good articulation. Probably, I would, in fact no, not probably, definitely the best figure if you were going to buy it just solo and just have one. I think this guy would work perfectly just to be sold on his own. So Onslaught here, I would definitely have to say the worst in vehicle mode, because obviously you've got his hands there, you've got the Bruticus head there, a big gap here. It would have been nice if they did incorporate a trailer with this guy, and I am just going to take this opportunity to talk about Echo. Echo, I'll put the link in the description, has come up with an amazing add-on set that will be coming out next year as part of X-Transbots. He was going to put it out online, but basically he did like a vote, and people said they preferred to wait a little longer if he could get it released as a proper third-party product. You know, get it produced a bit better, the quality would be a bit better and everything. And so yeah, I'll put the link in the description for that, so you can go ahead and check that out. It's an amazing Bruticus add-on set, which turns this guy from looking like this into the actual accurate game Bruticus. It looks absolutely incredible, but all the pieces combine together, and they actually make a trailer that you can put on Onslaught. So, you know, the gap is utilised by a third-party company, and it has been a while. You know, that we've had to wait for someone to actually say they're going to be doing a set for this thing, but I'm glad that finally someone is, and honestly it looks perfect. But let's take a look at this guy's robot mode before we get on to Bruticus himself. So here is Onslaught in his robot mode. He comes with obviously the Bruticus cannons here, which he can hold as a weapon. Overall, I think this guy works a lot better in his robot mode than he did in his vehicle mode. Obviously the head goes into the back there, and you've got the big waist piece sticking out the side from the back, ruins the silhouette a little bit. But on the whole, that is exactly what the in-game version of him looks like. He should be bigger than the others. The arms are a bit strange how they bend there and not up here. So that's the end of my quick look through all of the individual figures. Now I'm going to create Bruticus, and let's finally get onto the best part of this set. So here is Bruticus and he looks absolutely incredible. As I said, it is the San Diego Comic-Con game accurate colours. There's slight variations in the shading of the plastic to make it slightly more accurate than that version. You have the extra bit of silver there. You might find some extra little bits if you carry on looking through the figure. Obviously you can use the accessories that they all come with and create the big gun. I'm not going to bother with that right now. This isn't a full-on comprehensive review of him, it's just a quick overall look. So there's Bruticus in all of his glory, and we'll come back to him in a second after we've taken a look at the comparisons with the Grimlock figures. And here they are then, the two Grimlocks, standing next to each other in full glory. So first of all, before we go ahead and look at direct comparisons on the figure, here are the original weapons. You have like a kind of dark grey plastic detail on there, and then on the new ones, as you can see, it's a slightly lighter, it's more of a kind of gunmetal grey, almost silverish sort of colour. It's very shiny. The actual orange plastic is pretty much the same. I'd say it's a little tiny bit lighter. So that's the shields, and then with the swords you can see that they've actually put a tiny little bit of that silver detail up on there too. So weapon wise they're a tad little bit more detailed, but it's really nothing much. And then moving on to the actual figures themselves, obviously main difference is, instead of this tan, bronze, brown, whatever you want to call it, you now have a nice shiny gold. As Octobottom pointed out in his video from one of the subscribers that had seen a comment, as you can see just there and just there, when it catches a certain bit of the light, it has a slight green tinge to it. It's more so in electric light, like if you hold it directly under an electric light, but I think it looks absolutely fine. So getting a close-up look, we'll start at the front and work our way back here. You can see that on here, I'll use Grimlock as a pointer, on here you can see that there's that little bit of red detail, whereas on this Grimlock you can see that that is painted in silver. Then, moving on to the back here, we have some nice red and silver on here, whereas on here it's just that grey colour. Moving on down to the legs, here we have just plain red, here we have red with some nice silver detail, and then there's some silver inside here too, picking out that. Moving on to the tail, we have some silver detail around here and under here, whereas on this figure there's no silver there and no silver there. So little tiny bits more detail. On the top as well you can see that that's all silver, whereas that's just silver on the spikes. And then the actual Autobot logo on the top here is slightly darker on the newer version, just to showcase the light feature more. So there you can see the symbol very well, and then lights up, glows, you see, glows very nice. The new one, you can't really see the Autobot symbol as well. Mine has a tiny little scratch on it, just there. But then when it glows, it really pops. It's really very nice. The two next to each other, I would say that they glow about the same. The new one's jaw seems to open a little bit more, but that might just be because of this figure. Like, that doesn't actually stay open like that one does. So it's a little bit strange, but yeah, my version of this seems to be better than my version of this. So now that we've seen their dino modes and how they compare, let's have a look at the robot mode of Grimlock. And here they both are in robot mode. Now as you can see, the only difference that's left to point out is the fact that this silver part on here is a little bit more silvery than this grey here, and then we have silver down here instead of the grey here, and then instead of this we have the shiny gold down here. So very nice colour differences and everything. Actual mould degradation or anything like that, now we all know that the ratchet joints in the shoulders are quite tough and you've got to be careful with it, and it feels like you're going to break it. Now This shoulder is really perfectly fine. It works brilliantly. This one is actually a little tougher than I would like. I did feel like I was forcing it to get it through, but that's what this one felt like when I first had it. So after moving that a few times, it will loosen up and it will get a bit better. So if you have this and you feel like you're going to break it, don't worry, the ratchet is strong, and if you just use it a few times, it will wear in a little bit, I guess you could say, and it'll be fine. So other than that, no differences. You can use the light up feature in both of these through their chest, which I will just demonstrate. So there's this one, and here is this one, which I know I'm in the light and you can't see it as well, but this one obviously works a lot better because it's got that sort of reflectiveness. Now if you're worrying about this being scratched, by locking down the top when you put it in dyno mode, this is where it locks on, and I'm not sure if you can see, but the inside of it has actually been covered by this silver paint on here, so it's actually where it clips in, not gold, it's actually the silver part, so you're not actually going to scratch any of that gold off. So obviously this set is mostly for Bruticus, which I'm just going to bring on now. I'm going to move this guy across. But yeah, this set is mostly for Bruticus. I would say that the Grimlock figure is basically a little incentive. It's an extra little touch to say, come and buy me, but for the same price that you got the San Diego Comic-Con version, you can now get this version and a Grimlock. So really what you're doing there is you're just buying a free Grimlock, and I think that is absolutely incredible. And I do think that it is a big improvement on this figure because you get more of that Generation 1 aspect, you get tiny little bits more detail. I think this set should not be passed up on. I know that they are quite expensive, just like the Metroplex that I recently reviewed, but if you're a collector, money, obviously it is going to be in your mind, but these things, they should be telling you to buy them. It's amazing. There's not going to be many of them. Obviously it's Platinum Edition, so to all of you that don't know what that is, they basically go back and re-release Transformers that are basically legendary, I guess you could say. I do have a pre-order up for the Platinum Edition Predaking that's coming out, so I'll have that next month. That comes out in September. And that's pretty much it. So if you do want to pick this guy up, I got it from Amazon. You can get it from Big Bad Toy Store. For a while it was a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. But you can get it here, there and everywhere, but there won't be many of them. So if you do want this guy, act fast. Great price. I think it's the best price for any Transformer out there at the moment. So if you want to drop me some feedback, please give me a like or leave a comment, personal message me, anything. Any feedback is good to let me know how I'm doing. And if you want to check out the Metroplex video, then please go ahead and check out my channel and find that. I got more Transformers stuff coming up. I got SH Figuarts, Goku. I got some more Marvel figures coming along. Some DC stuff that I got a while ago that I got to show up. So yeah, that has been it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and please go ahead and buy this. It's an absolute amazing set, and I couldn't recommend it enough. So I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.